We know exactly what's going on in the neighborhood. That's right. We are focused. We're going to stay focused. We're going to continue being focused. But once I start getting sleepy, though, we're going to have to improvise. So, let's see. We can improvise by putting this camera over here. Because I'm not going to stay by the window all night. I know it sounded good, but then I started thinking, wait a second, I'm not going to be by the window all night. That's not going to work out. So, yeah, we're gonna figure this out like this. The highway lights have been on for quite some time now. So we just have to figure it out. We're gonna have to remove one. And we're gonna have to improvise. Like there. That's pretty good right there. Of course, the high frequencies continue. Organized Crime Family is very, very concerned over our continued surveillance, but I think it's way too late for that. The concern is no longer there. The surveillance is going to continue. Whether I'm here or not, there's going to be surveillance. So, obviously this criminal organization thinks once I'm gone that surveillance is over. No, it's only just the beginning. It's only just the beginning. It's going to continue. We have way too much information to be ignored. That's right. This is not going to be ignored. It's not going to be swept under a carpet. This is only the beginning. Again, this is the machine. Everybody's very aware of the machine. How it functions, how it works. Everything is out in the open. There's no secrets here. So, yep, we're going to continue with our surveillance. We're going to continue with our surveillance. Yep. We're going to make sure we continue our surveillance. Yep. It's 6:03. 6:03. It's almost crunch time. We just have to wait. That's all we gotta do. It's almost crunch time. We already know the game. So we just have to wait. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can do for now. And the rest is, we gotta cover up the rest. Let's see what we can do. High frequencies continue, of course. Organized crime is very, very concerned. We understand. Surveillance must continue. continue. There's no going around that. Surveillance must continue. That's the rule. That is the rule. No going around that. So waiting game. Frequencies continue. It's 6:05 p.m. 6:05 p.m. It looks like I'm predicting right. I am predicting. They pretty much hiding. We shall see. We are expecting the mule to start delivering soon. It's 6:06 p.m. 6:06 p.m. Same vehicle as before, community gang stalking. Obviously, they cannot find other community gang stalkers in the area. They're using the same one. High frequencies continue. And that of course is a signal that we are on the right track. It's going to work out perfect. We're on the right track. The right track. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of traffic. It's going to be cracking soon. It's going to be cracking soon. There's no doubt about that. This is about the time. It's almost crunch time. You just have to wait a little longer. Almost crunch time. Okay, so far so good. Mm. We're gonna keep organized crime, a little privacy, and see how that works out. Let's see. Okay, it's almost crunch time. Just gotta wait. Looking good, looking good. The waiting game. So far so good. It's 6:12 p.m. 6:12 p.m. We're still waiting. It's a waiting game. We're still waiting. Shouldn't be that much longer. It's 6:13. Watching TV. High frequencies continue.
The money Papa won helped pay for the repairs.
Libby, why don't you try and get some rest?
Parker, would you show I get to
Come on, Heath. We got some talking to do. Never get arrested for murder in a pair of tied boots.
Well, Heath?
Now, don't get that look. There's nothing to worry about. There's plenty to worry about. And the sooner you get that through your head, the better off you'll be. The great Ambrose tried to kill me. I shot him in self-defense. How many ways can I say it? And why does Phil Archer call it murder? How should I know? He's much too smart to try for an indictment without some pretty good evidence. Happened just like I told you. Now, let me see if I've got this straight. You and the victim's wife renewed an old love affair over a midnight supper at the Alhambra Club.
It was never an affair.
Then you returned her to the theater at a rather late hour and were confronted by her understandably angry husband.
He was drunk, crazy jealous. Life with him must have been hell for her.
A relationship nonetheless sanctified by marriage vows.
Jared, is this necessary?
I'm afraid it is. Now tell me again what happened in that alley.
He made threats. She went inside.
Threats against whom?
Me.
And in spite of those threats, you entered a dark theater and killed him. A professional marksman in a fair fight. Now, do you expect the jury to believe that?
Jared, you got it all wrong.
Haven't I told the truth?
It's the word you used.
You expect the prosecutor to use nicer words?
All right, Jared. Now you've acted out the devil's advocate. Why? Surely you don't think he's as guilty.
Of course, I don't think he's guilty. The trouble is, how are we going to prove it?
Well, I'll match Jared against that smug jaybird Archer any day. Well, wake me in an hour, huh?
Please. It's going to be all right, isn't it?
Sure it is. There's nothing to worry about. We'll tell it just like it happened, and that'll be the end of it. Maybe I was raised on trouble. You'll be all right. Trust me.
Read all about the murder. Read all about the murder in the theater. Come and get your paper right now.
You can't go on shouting about a murder. This can't rightfully be called a murder until a coroner's jury says a crime has been committed. But when they do that, then we can legally accuse a suspect.
The day this town accuses a Barkley is the day the horn will sound judgment.
Oh, now, don't sell your fellow citizens short. They're honest men, and they'll hand down an honest verdict without fear or favor.
Wonder how much it will cost him to get out of this.
He was standing right there, right where you are, with a gun in his hand.
Did he say anything?
He said, I killed him.
I killed him. That'll be all, Sheriff. Thank you. Unless you wish to bring forward any other facts pertinent to this murder.
The word murder, Mr. Archer, is completely out of order here.
I stand corrected. And remind you that any defense of your brother at this time is equally out of order.
I'll remind you both that this is an inquest, not a trial, and I am in charge. You're dismissed, Sheriff. Do you have any further witnesses, Mr. Archer?
Yes, sir. Call Mrs. Liberty Keene Carson, please.
Mrs. Carson? Place your hand on the book. Swear to tell the truth as you see it, so help you.
I do.
Now, you're Liberty Keene, widow of Ambrose Carson.
Yes, sir.
The great Ambrose was billed as the world's finest pistol shot. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, isn't it ironic that he should be shot dead in a fair fight?
But it was a fair fight. Ambrose had a gun in his hand and was stalking Heath when I called out to warn him.
Madam, I find it very peculiar that you should show greater loyalty to a stranger than you did to your own husband.
I told you before, Heath Barkley and I are old friends. We grew up together in the mining camp.
An old friend who saw nothing reprehensible about a clandestine supper with a married woman?
Heath knew nothing about marriage.
I trust the prosecutor will introduce into evidence the fact that the young lady and my brother met just yesterday for the first time in 7 years. Hardly enough time to hatch a conspiracy, gentlemen.
Sir, I have no evidence of conspiracy. Only evidence of a cold-blooded murder. Gentlemen of the jury, I'd like you to recall the coroner's report that was read to you earlier. It stated that the witness's husband was the victim of 2 bullet wounds, one in the right arm and the second fatal one in the right temple. Now, the deed isn't very hard to reconstruct, is it? The first shot hit him in his right arm, his gun arm, preventing him from returning any fire with any degree of accuracy. Then the killer came forward and, taking careful aim, shot out his victim's life. Now, that's the way it happened, isn't it?
No.
No. No, it happened some other way. Or no, you didn't see him shoot your husband because you ran outside when the gun started going off. Well, that's it, isn't it? That's it. You were lying when you said you saw a shooting in self-defense. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything.
I told the truth. It was the truth.
You told a lie. You told a lie in order to save a man about whom you were so concerned after the shooting. The man you called darling standing over the dead body of your husband. Motive for murder, gentlemen. Lust for a beautiful woman. A motive as old as original sin.
Sordid reading, doesn't it? I heard the porter call you Mr. Barkley. Are you one of them? What's it to you? Well, don't get huffy. I'm Fletcher of the Oakland Bulletin. If there's another side to that story, I'm the man to see it gets into print. Anything to say? Nothing. Then a Salinas horse auction. Kind of a shock, huh? You might say that, yes. I guess right now you're wishing the old man's cold had never come out of the woods. Nobody says that about him to me. You better get used to it. You're going to find people like a good scandal, Barkley. And when the mud's on you rich ones, they like it twice as much. How's Libby? Is she all right?
She's fine.
You know, I'm glad she's got you to look after her. Libby's had a hard time all her life. Right now, there's something hurt and helpless about her. She needs somebody to take care of her.
We're waiting.
Under strict orders, he was to have no visitors.
Sheriff gave Miss Barkley special permission, them being such important people and all.
Shut up, Tedrow.
Yes, may it please, Mrs. Barkley.
I'm sorry, Fred. I really can't understand your objection to my seeing my son.
Your son is about to be tried for murder. Just because his name is Barkley doesn't give him any special consideration.
Nor should it prejudice people against him.
Oh? Well, are you accusing me of prejudicial behavior, Mrs. Barkley?
Have you been reading the papers, Mr. Archer?
Neither of us can control the free press.
Not even to make it clear that half-truths have been twisted?
You have one opinion, the coroner's jury had another. The newspapers are entitled to theirs.
Not when they try to blame Heath for something beyond his control. The name he bears.
It seems to me you're unduly sensitive on that point.
It's my name and I'm proud of it. I don't like seeing it smeared. Do you really believe there would be all this newspaper notoriety if a Barkley weren't involved? Would it cause statewide interest if that man Tedrow were on trial?
Now, I'll overlook your doubts about my integrity, Mrs. Barkley. But let me tell you this.
623, 623.
I intend to examine every
Attacks of the brain
testimony of the
continue.
widow and the defendant, and if there's any change, well, there could be an
6:24 p.m.
conspiracy with
It's
you
almost
as
crunch time.
intermediary.
That was
Barton
not
TV.
the purpose of my visit. You have my word for that.
And the word of a Barkley is sacrosanct.
There's only one step from envy to hate, Mr. Archer. And I think you've already taken it. Nick, Jared. Hi. Oh, very calm. For my benefit. I'm afraid you can't see him. Phil Archer says no one but Jared can see him until the trial.
Oh, I want to tell him I'm back and he has nothing to worry about, so I'll tell him, Nick. See you both at the house.
The rig is over here.
Does that mean you're sure he's going to be acquitted? It means he no more commit murder than herd sheep. And you Barclays intend to stand behind him all the way with everything we've got. You ought to be more careful with words. That could be construed as a threat to use the Barclay money, prestige, and influence to make sure your brother gets off.
Well, no, I wouldn't say it quite that way if I were you.
You trying to tell me what I can write?
Trying to tell you, you misquote me, and you're going to get yourself in an awful lot of trouble.
Is that a threat? That's a promise. Thank you for a very good quote, Mr. Barclay. I think you're going to find out you aren't so high and mighty.
Nick! Nick!
It's almost crunch time. Attacks of the brain continue. We are focused.
You're going to need it. Oh, why?
We have our name in the paper.
It's a waiting game.
Ranching heir Nick Barclay to date threatened. What a filthy rotten lie.
How can they print lies like that about important people?
Well, it's a rather involved question of semantics. Now, Nick may have only said promise to that newspaper man, but I understand he said it rather forcefully. Well, now, what was I supposed to do? Just let him get away with it?
You know, your father used to say, when you wear a silk hat, you must be able to duck. Otherwise, you make yourself a target for every bobtail who can throw a rock. Now, that's the price you pay for being a Barclay.
Only in Heath's case, it could be a lot more than just rocks. It could be a rope.
No, they can't. They can't do that, not to Heath. We won't let them, will we, Jared?
Believe me, Liberty, we'll do everything we can.
Jared, you have got to make them listen. You've got to make them understand how he was. He was cold and cruel and insanely jealous. If only I hadn't gone to see Heath that night. If I hadn't screamed after Ambrose hit me. That's why he came back. To help me. So we've got to find a way to help him.
What do you mean you're going to get another lawyer to defend me? Now, calm down, will you? Porter Hammond is one of the best. He's a master with the jury.
Prosecutor wants to see you, Jared. It's important.
All right. Jared. We don't need another lawyer. I think we do. Public opinion is running against us. We need somebody outside the family. No. I put my money on you and it stayed on you. Hammond is on his way over here.
I'm starting to feel sorry for you. He's trying to back out. Maybe you ain't such a member of the family as you thought.
I wouldn't have believed it of you, Jared. I wouldn't have believed you've been so stupid.
He had nothing to do with it. I told you that.
Nothing to do with what? Go on, tell the big-time San Francisco lawyer what you just told me.
Well,
I killed Ambrose.
Well, doesn't that surprise you, Barclay?
Archer thinks you put her up to it. Figuring a jury would go easier on a pretty woman.
well, Liberty. If you're telling the truth, that means that Heath is lying, doesn't it? He must be taking the blame for you.
Heath knew nothing about it. The theater was dark. He didn't see me fire the shot.
With the what? With a gun you just happened to have in your hand?
The gun case was on the table. Ambrose had one. I used the other.
And you claim that in the dark, with all those bullets flying around, yours was the one that killed him?
I'm a very good shot.
Really? Sheriff, let me have your pistol. We'll check and see how well Mr. Barclay has coached you.
Don't push me too far, Phil. I don't need her to win this case, and you know it.
Well, just in case you're tempted, we'll put her to the test. Look,
poster up on the wall, the man in the poster. Go ahead, shoot him.
Now, were your hands shaking that much that night? Go ahead, it's dark. The guns are going off. Show us how you hit him. Go ahead. Go ahead, you don't have the time now. Go ahead and shoot.
All right. You realize you might have gone to prison if your ability to handle a gun had been any better? You lied here, and you lie on the stand.
Reconstructing the crime, counselor?
Something like that? Those are the dressing rooms, huh?
Yeah.
Would you mind unlocking them for me?
Oh, not at all. Oh, say, by the way, if it's any use to you, Ambrose was hitting the bottle pretty hard that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I noticed it before they went on. I told her to get some food in for him. Poor thing, I sure feel sorry for her.
This is hers, huh?
Oh, yeah, this is his right next to it. I wonder what she's going to do now. It looks kind of hard on a young woman, all alone and they're broke. She never could make it seem. I guess you can always go back to sheriff.
6:31.
I didn't know Liberty did any shooting.
Oh, sure. Ambrose taught her all kinds of trick shots. They cut their act once a couple of years ago. Just like all the others, until he got the bright idea of making her the unexpected target. You know, kind of surprise the audience. Him pretending he's drunk and she's in danger. Well, when you're finished, I'll be in my office.
Thank you very much. Just a minute.
Well, may I come in?
Well, is it something that can't be taken care of at the office?
I've come to ask a favor, Phil. A big one.
Come in. Sit down.
I didn't know you still played the tuba, Phil.
Why should you know? We haven't traveled in the same circle since we were in law school together.
Seems to me we were friends then.
People in the water, they both seek their own level. What is a favor, Jerry?
Phil, I want you to consider, just for the sake of argument, the possibility that Liberty might have been telling the truth yesterday.
You know, I figured you were bluffing when you said you didn't need her to win your case.
She said she was a good shot.
Now, when you saw how good,
Good enough to be part of the act at one time.
then how do you explain what happened yesterday?
Nervousness, cold feet, or possibly the expert way you drove at her. At any rate, she was at the scene of the crime, and I'm convinced she had a reason for wanting Ambrose dead.
Speculation. There's no way to prove that.
But there is. We can compare the death bullet with a bullet fired from Heath's gun.
Well, the bullet was never removed.
Why not?
Well, Heath was found standing over a dead man with a gun in his hand. He confessed to the killing. There was no need to mutilate the body.
Still, I want to see those bullets. I want you to agree to an order of exhumation. That's the favor.
He's buried in the churchyard. That's consecrated ground.
I know that, but there's legal precedent. It was ordered in San Francisco 3 months ago.
But this is not San Francisco. Here in Stockton, the dead have a right to sleep undisturbed.
What's more important, Phil, respect for the dead or justice for the living?
I'm a public official. Now, that's very important to me. I worked very hard for a very long time.
May I ask what that has to do with it?
Well, I wouldn't expect a successful big city lawyer to understand. I'm only interested in justice, equal justice. What is it you resent, Phil? The fact that I didn't have to work as hard for success as you did?
Don't be ridiculous.
Then why are you out to get Heath? Why do you refuse to even consider the possibility that he may be innocent?
Because he is guilty. And none of your courtroom magic can cheat justice.
You know something? You're infected. Infected with the same blind, rich man, poor man prejudice that's spreading all through this town. Or are you the source of it?
Get out of here. Go on, get out.
Sorry, boys.
You can go ahead home, friend.
I'll let you rob a grave. I can't do that.
We've got permission.
Not from Archer. You went to the judge.
We figure that bullet can clear Heath.
We'll put a rope around his neck.
I didn't expect this kind of cooperation, Phil. I want to thank you.
You're risking everything, Barkley. Your reputation, your career, and your brother's life.
Libby, what are you doing here?
Mr. Archer said there may be a way I could help you.
Well, that isn't quite correct. I wanted you here while we conducted this experiment. You see, Mr. Barkley has a theory that it was you who killed your husband. That's a lie. She couldn't have.
I wish I had. I wish it had been me instead of he.
Jan, you leave her out of this. I'm afraid I can't do that, Heath. You see, bullets from the same gun have identical markings and weight. Now, we're going to compare the death bullet, the one on that scale there, with the bullet from Heath's gun.
This is your gun, isn't it?
That's right.
Hey, Arthur. Well, this scale is from the assay department of the bank. It's completely accurate. I was so sure. I was so very sure.
I had to kill him. I had to. I was afraid for Heath. Ambrose would have killed him. It would have been my fault. All my fault.
You didn't have to kill him to prevent that. You're an expert shot, Liberty. Despite that deceptive exhibition you put on here, you could have placed this bullet anywhere you wanted. You wanted him dead. She won't shoot me.
never wanted to hurt you, Heath. I never thought you could try. Thought the Barclays were too important.
Okay, there's no need to explain.
Help me. Make them understand. I had to kill him. You saw how he was. How he treated me.
We're still waiting. We have all night. It's a waiting game. It's a waiting game. All night. 6:54. It's 6:54. It's almost crunch time. It's almost crunch time.